Ever wondered how some of your favorite R&B stars look today? From Chaka Khan's jaw-dropping transformation during her performances on American Idol and the Kennedy Center Spring Festival, to Tevin Campbell's departure from the spotlight following his involvement in a California undercover police operation, these are just a few of the stars who've changed over the years. Leave a 1 in the comments and join us as we take a look at 20 R&B stars you might not recognize anymore. Michael Jackson was not just an artist. He was a global cultural phenomenon who redefined the concept of entertainment and music in the 20th century. His career spanned over 4 decades, from being a child prodigy in the family group Jackson 5 to earning the title of the King of Pop. His massive musical and artistic legacy continues to inspire millions of people around the world to this day. From his early days with the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson displayed his innate talent with a clear, emotional voice and captivating dance moves. However, it was when he went solo, particularly with the album Off the Wall 1979, that he truly cemented his place in music history. But it was with Thriller 1982 that Michael Jackson created a true revolution. Thriller became not only the best-selling album of all time with over 70 million copies sold worldwide, but also a breakthrough in terms of visual artistry. His music videos, especially Thriller Billie Jean and Beat It, were not just simple illustrations of the songs, but became short cinematic masterpieces with intricate storytelling, complex choreography, and pioneering special effects. He transformed MTV from a mere music channel into a platform for showcasing stunning visual works, influencing how other artists approached music videos. Michael Jackson was a genius performer. Every one of his shows was a masterful display of perfection, powerful live vocals, skillful and energetic dance moves from the legendary moonwalk to his commanding spins. He had an extraordinary ability to connect with the audience, turning each concert into an unforgettable experience. His fusion of R&B, pop, soul, and rock in his music broke down genre barriers, captivating audiences from all walks of life and becoming a source of inspiration for countless artists who followed. Beyond music, Michael Jackson had a profound impact on fashion, dance, and philanthropy. He used his fame to convey messages of peace, love, and environmental awareness through songs like Heal the World and Earth Song. Despite his personal life being marred by controversy and tragedy, no one can deny the immense contributions Michael Jackson made to music and pop culture. He was a symbol, a legend, and a living testament to how an artist can change the world through talent and passion. Michael Jackson's legacy continues to live on in every note, every dance step, and in the hearts of millions of fans around the globe. Brandy Norwood is one of the biggest names in R&B. Her journey began in Macomb, Mississippi, where she was born into a musical family. Her father, a choir director, introduced her to gospel music. She sang solo for the first time at the age of 2 and never looked back. As a teenager, she started performing in talent shows and eventually became a backup singer for the group Immature. Her big break came in 1993 when she signed with Atlantic Records. The following year, she released her debut album Brandy, which became a major success, selling 6 million copies. Shortly after, she became a television star, taking on the lead role in the sitcom Moshe. She also made history by playing Cinderella in a groundbreaking TV film alongside Whitney Houston. However, it was the 1998 hit The Boy Is Mine, a collaboration with Monica, that turned Brandy into a global superstar. The song was everywhere, and her second album, Never Say Never, went on to sell 16 million copies worldwide. Over the years, Brandy continued to make music and act. She appeared on reality TV shows, performed on Broadway, and even served as a judge on America's Got Talent. Over time, her albums didn't sell as well as before. Her career slowed down and she became less visible in the media. In 2020, she attempted a comeback with the album B7, and in 2023, she released a Christmas album. Brandy is still here, still making music and performing. However, for many fans, she is no longer the Brandy they once adored. In the early 2000s, Sisqó was everywhere. With his platinum blonde hair and bold outfits, he was one of the biggest stars in R&B. His hit song, Thong Song, became an icon. For a time, it seemed like Sisqó was unstoppable. He began his music career as a teenager working at a local fudge shop, known for having employees who could sing. It was there that he met the other members of the group, Dru Hill. The group signed with Island Records in 1996 and quickly made a name for themselves with songs like Tell Me and How Deep Is Your Love. By the late 90s, things began to change. One member of Dru Hill, Woody, left the group to pursue a solo career. This led the remaining members to try their hand at solo projects, and in 1999, Sisqó released his debut solo album, Unleash the Dragon. The album was successful from the start, but it wasn't until 2000 that things truly exploded. The second single from the album, Thong Song, became a massive hit. It played on every radio station, dominated MTV, and made Sisqó a household name. His next song, Incomplete, also topped the charts. At the height of his fame, he was so popular that they even made an action figure of Sisqó. However, fame doesn't last forever. In 2002, Sisqó reunited with Dru Hill, but their new album was unsuccessful, and they lost their recording contract. His solo career also faced difficulties, and by the mid-2000s, he faded from the spotlight. He attempted a comeback in 2015 with the album Last Dragon, but it didn't receive much attention. As of 2024, Sisqó continues to perform, but he's no longer the star he once was. Recently, he appeared on The Masked Singer as Lizard, where he was eliminated, but had the chance to perform Thong Song one last time. R. Kelly, with songs like I Believe I Can Fly, Ignition, and Step in the Name of Love, dominated the charts and earned the title of King of R&B. However, today his name is no longer associated with music. Instead, it has become linked to one of the biggest scandals in music history. Kelly grew up in Chicago, where he discovered his passion for music in the church choir. His big break came in the early 90s when he released his debut solo album, 12 Play. The album became an instant classic with hits like Bump and Grind and Your Body's Callin'. His ability to blend sensual R&B with catchy melodies helped him become a superstar. He not only wrote hits for himself, but also wrote and produced for artists like Aaliyah, Whitney Houston, and Michael Jackson. Throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, Kelly remained one of the most successful artists in R&B. His song I Believe I Can Fly from 1998 won 3 Grammy Awards and became an iconic anthem. However, behind the scenes, rumors and allegations of sexual misconduct, many involving underage girls, began to intensify. Despite lawsuits and investigations, he continued to release music and maintain his career. He even created the Trapped in the Closet series, which became a cultural phenomenon. However, by the late 2010s, the truth began to catch up with him. The 2019 documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, exposed decades of abuse allegations, leading to a series of arrests and trials. He was convicted on multiple charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering, and was sentenced to 31 years in prison. Now in 2025, R. Kelly is no longer a music legend. He is a prisoner at a federal facility in North Carolina. Marvin Gaye, born Marvin Pentz Gay Jr., was a music icon who helped shape the sound of Motown in the 1960s and later broke boundaries to become one of the most influential and meaningful vocalists of the 20th century. From his early days at Motown, he enjoyed major success with hits like Stubborn Kind of Fellow Can I Get a Witness, and especially I Heard It Through the Grapevine, a global hit that propelled him to superstardom. His romantic duets with Tammy Terrell, such as Ain't No Mountain High Enough, also became Motown classics, showcasing the beautiful blend of their voices. However, the pinnacle of Marvin Gaye's career came in the 1970s when he began to break free from Motown's control and started producing his own works. What's Going On? 1971 was a groundbreaking masterpiece that delved into pressing social and political issues such as war, environmental pollution, and injustice. This album completely transformed the way soul music was perceived, paving the way for artists to have more creative control over their work. Following this success, Let's Get It On 1973 boldly and tastefully explored themes of love and sensuality, with the title track becoming an iconic hit, redefining romantic R&B. Marvin Gaye was known for his distinctive voice, which could effortlessly transition from a soaring falsetto to a smooth baritone and a deep, soulful gospel tone. He was a master storyteller through music expressing complex emotions ranging from the joy of love to the anxieties about the world. Although his life ended tragically in 1984, Marvin Gaye's legacy endures, influencing countless R&B, soul pop, and hip-hop artists across generations, solidifying his place as a musical legend of immense stature. Whitney Houston was not just a singer. She was a musical phenomenon, one of the greatest voices of all time, with extraordinary vocal ability and a profound ability to convey emotion. Known as The Voice, she shattered numerous records, reshaped R&B and pop, and paved the way for many generations of black artists. Her voice, a seamless blend of gospel, R&B, and pop, set a new standard for vocal technique and emotional expression in performance. Whitney Houston's illustrious career began in the 1980s with her debut album Whitney Houston 1985, which quickly catapulted her to global superstardom with hits like Saving All My Love for You and Greatest Love of All. However, the pinnacle of her career came with the timeless hit I Will Always Love You from the soundtrack of The Bodyguard 1992. The song not only topped charts worldwide, but also became one of the best-selling singles of all time, solidifying Whitney's undeniable vocal power. She remains the only artist to have 7 consecutive singles reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Despite the personal ups and downs and tragedies in Whitney Houston's life, no one can deny the immense talent and musical legacy she left behind. Her voice was a rare gift, an endless source of inspiration for millions of fans and future generations of artists. Whitney Houston was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and received countless prestigious awards, solidifying her status as the Queen of Pop and R&B, a legend whose influence will never fade. Beyoncé Giselle Knowles-Carter, simply known as Beyoncé, is one of the most influential artists of the 21st century, a symbol of strength, female empowerment, and continuous innovation in music. From a young star in the iconic girl group Destiny's Child to being crowned the Queen of global music, Beyoncé has built a dazzling solo career, breaking barriers and redefining the concept of entertainment. Her solo career began with the album Dangerously in Love 2003, which solidified her position with hits like Crazy in Love and Baby Boy. She then consistently released highly successful albums both commercially and artistically, such as B-Day 2006, I Am, Sasha Fierce 2008, with the global hit Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It, and 2011. However, it was her groundbreaking visual albums, such as Beyoncé 2013 and Lemonade 2016, that truly elevated her to new heights. These projects were not just music, but also multimedia art pieces, blending music with visuals and delivering profound social and political messages about feminism, Black identity, and personal experiences. Most recently, Renaissance 2022 and Cowboy Carter 2024 continued to showcase her ability to evolve and lead the way in exploring new genres such as dance music and country, further solidifying her status as an innovative force in the music industry. Beyoncé is not just a singer with a powerful voice and exceptional technical skill. She is also a master performer with flawless choreography, grand stages, and a remarkable ability to connect with her audience. Her performances are not just concerts, but world-class shows that reflect her unique artistic vision. She is also a major cultural figure influencing fashion, social issues, and popular culture. Beyoncé has used her platform to champion feminism, celebrate Black culture, and promote confidence and independence. With a multitude of prestigious awards, including multiple Grammy wins, making her the most awarded artist in Grammy history, Beyoncé has proven her place as one of the greatest artists of all time. She continuously reinvents herself, challenges norms, and evolves her artistry, inspiring millions around the world. Beyoncé's legacy is not only found in her hits or record-breaking album sales, but also in how she has redefined the role of women in the music industry, becoming a global symbol of power and creativity. Rihanna, full name, Robyn. Rihanna Fenty is one of the most influential artists of the 21st century, renowned not only for her music but also for her impressive career in business and fashion. Hailing from Barbados, she rose to global superstardom, breaking boundaries and redefining the concept of a modern, multifaceted artist. Her ability to continuously evolve her musical style and image has helped her maintain a leading position in the industry for over a decade. Rihanna's music career began with Pon de Replay in 2005, quickly placing her on the global music map with its signature dancehall and R&B influences. She continued to dominate the charts with a string of massive hits, such as SOS Umbrella, Disturbia, Rude Boy, Only Girl in the World, We Found Love, Diamonds, and Work. Rihanna stands out for her ability to seamlessly blend a variety of genres, from R&B, pop, dancehall, EDM, and hip-hop to rock and reggae, creating a unique and ever-evolving musical style. Her album Good Girl Gone Bad 2007 marked a major turning point, transforming her from a teen pop star into a sultry and confident icon. Beyond music, Rihanna has built a business empire. She achieved tremendous success with her cosmetics brand, Fenty Beauty, which has been widely praised for its inclusivity and diversity, especially for offering a wide range of foundation shades suitable for all skin tones. Building on this success, she launched the fashion brand Fenty, under the mentorship of LVMH, becoming the first Black woman to lead a luxury brand under this conglomerate. Rihanna is not only a music superstar but also a savvy entrepreneur, an active philanthropist through the Clara Lionel Foundation, and a global fashion icon, consistently leading trends and shaping the style for millions of fans. Alicia Keys, born Alicia Augello. Cook is not only a singer-songwriter and pianist. She is one of the most talented and influential artists of the 21st century, known for her seamless blend of R&B, soul, hip-hop, and classical music. With her powerful voice, profound songwriting ability, and innate piano talent, Alicia Keys has crafted a unique musical style that resonates deeply with listeners and conveys powerful messages. Alicia Keys' career skyrocketed in 2001 with her debut album, Songs in a Minor. With hits like Fallen and A Woman's Worth, the album quickly became a global phenomenon, earning her 5 Grammy Awards, including Best New Artist. Fallen particularly made a strong impact with its haunting piano riffs, soulful vocals, and deeply emotional lyrics exploring the complexities of love. This album not only solidified her talent, but also ushered in a new wave for R&B, connecting deeply with the core values of soul and blues. Throughout her career, Alicia Keys has consistently released critically acclaimed works that have also achieved commercial success. Albums like The Diary of Alicia Keys 2003 with hits like If I Ain't Got You and You Don't Know My Name and As I Am 2007 with No One further solidified her position as one of the leading voices and songwriters in the music industry. Not only does she write music for herself, but she has also collaborated with many major artists, showcasing her skill in lyric writing, composing, and arranging. Alicia Keys' music often carries a deeply personal tone, exploring themes of love loss, inner strength, and social issues, reflecting her growth and depth as an artist. Beyond music, Alicia Keys is also known for her role as a social activist, a symbol of natural beauty and self-confidence. She pioneered the no-makeup movement and has been a strong advocate for humanitarian issues and social justice. With a multitude of prestigious awards, including 15 Grammy Awards, Alicia Keys has proven not only her extraordinary talent, but also her influence that extends beyond music. She is a living example of how an artist can create high-level art while also being a source of inspiration for positive societal values. Bruno Mars, born Peter Gene Hernandez, is one of the most talented and successful artists of today, known for his ability to seamlessly blend classic musical genres like funk soul, R&B, pop disco, and rock. With his captivating voice, top-tier performance skills, and exceptional songwriting and production abilities, Bruno Mars has created a unique musical style that combines a retro feel with a fresh, modern twist, appealing to contemporary tastes. Bruno Mars' career began to rise dramatically in the early 2010s. After achieving success as a co-writer and producer for other artists, he released his debut solo singles, Just the Way You Are and Grenade, in 2010, quickly propelling him to the top. His debut album, Doo-Wops and Hooligans 2010, solidified his position as a promising vocalist, blending smooth pop soul with catchy melodies. Following that success, his album Unorthodox Jukebox 2012 explored even more genres with hits like Locked Out of Heaven, featuring reggae rock influences, and the emotional ballad When I Was Your Man. However, the pinnacle of Bruno Mars's career came with the Silk Sonic project alongside Anderson .Paak and the album 24K Magic 2016. 24K Magic was a celebration of 80s and 90s funk and R&B featuring energetic tracks like 24K Magic Finesse and That's What I Like. The album swept the Grammy Awards, earning him several major accolades, including Album of the Year, Record of the Year, and Song of the Year. Bruno Mars is not just a singer, he is a born performer. Every one of his performances is a high-energy musical party with flawless choreography, a vibrant live band, and an incredible stage presence that makes it impossible for the audience not to groove along. With a plethora of prestigious awards, including 15 Grammy Awards, Bruno Mars has proven his constant creativity and widespread influence in the music industry. He is not only a commercially successful artist, but also someone who preserves and reinvents classic musical values. Bruno Mars is a testament to how the blend of talent, hard work, and the ability to capture trends can create a global superstar, one who consistently delivers uplifting melodies and top-tier performances. John Legend, born John Roger Stevens, is a rare, multi-talented artist renowned for his smooth soul voice, exceptional piano skills, and deeply emotional songs that resonate deeply with listeners. From romantic ballads to tracks carrying powerful social messages, John Legend has established himself as one of the leading R&B and soul voices of his generation. He is also one of the few artists to achieve the prestigious EGOT title, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, a testament to his outstanding talent across multiple fields. John Legend's career began to take off in the early 2000s, with collaborations alongside major artists like Kanye West. His debut album, Get Lifted 2004, brought hits like Ordinary People and Used to Love, quickly making him a new star in contemporary soul music. Ordinary People stood out with its simplicity yet deep sincerity with just a piano, and his raw vocals leaving an unforgettable mark. He then continued to solidify his distinctive style with albums like Once Again 2006 and Love in the Future 2013. It was from this album that the legendary ballad All of Me was born, becoming one of the most timeless love songs of all time, topping charts worldwide and gaining immense popularity. Beyond music, John Legend is also an active social justice advocate. He uses his platform and influence to speak out on humanitarian issues and social justice, particularly in the area of criminal justice reform, through the Car Free America campaign. His song Glory, featuring Common from the film Selma, won the Oscar for Best Original Song, marking not just an artistic achievement, but also a powerful declaration of civil rights and equality. With his extraordinary talent, compassionate heart, and unwavering commitment to making the world a better place, John Legend is an artist who not only creates moving melodies but also inspires positive change. Brent Faiyaz, born Christopher Brent Wood, is one of the most prominent contemporary R&B artists, known for his smooth, alluring voice and a unique musical style that often carries a dark, sensual, and sometimes controversial tone. He has become a phenomenon in the R&B world, attracting a large and loyal fan base with his authenticity, boldness, and the way he expresses the complex facets of relationships. Brent Faiyaz's career began to gain attention in the mid-2010s. After releasing his EP AM Paradox 2016, he truly exploded with his collaboration on Crew alongside Gold Link and Shy Glizzy in 2016, earning him a Grammy nomination. However, Faiyaz has been building his own empire through solo projects. Albums like Sonder Son 2017 and especially the EP Fuck the World 2020 solidified his place in the R&B genre. His album Wasteland 2022 continued to affirm his style, debuting at number 2 on the Billboard 200 with hits like All Mine and Gravity, featuring Tyler, the Creator, becoming major successes. Brent Faiyaz's musical style is often described as alternative R&B or neo-soul, blending the smoothness of traditional R&B with modern elements, sometimes carrying a melancholic or hip-hop influence. He has an exceptional ability to tell stories authentically unafraid, to explore the darker sides of love, physical attraction, and introspective thoughts. Faiyaz is also an independent artist, having founded his own label Lost Kids, to retain the rights to his music, showcasing his sharp business acumen and desire to maintain full creative control. With his unique music style and distinct personality, Brent Faiyaz continues to be one of the most captivating and evolving voices in the global R&B scene. Who is your favorite R&B star among these artists? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest content. Have you ever wondered which R&B stars you wouldn't recognize today? From Chaka Khan, who shocked audiences with her new look when performing on American Idol and at the Kennedy Center Spring Festival, to Tevin Campbell, who gradually stepped away from the spotlight after being arrested in a covert sting operation by undercover police in California. Leave a comment with the number 1 and join us as we explore 20 R&B stars you might not recognize today. Dawn Robinson is an American singer and actress best known as a member of the iconic group En Vogue. The group became one of the best-selling female groups of all time. In July 1989, Robinson auditioned for a new all-female group and was selected along with 3 other women to form En Vogue. In 1990, they released their debut single Hold On, which became a #1 hit. Robinson's distinctive voice was featured in some of the group's biggest songs, including My Loving You're Never Going to Get It, giving him something he can feel, and Free Your Mind. After the group went on hiatus in 2008, Robinson returned to music, performing and singing songs from her time with En Vogue and the group Lucy Pearl. Her most recent public performance was in 2019. In 2025, Robinson revealed that she had been living in her car since 2022. She shared, "For nearly 3 years I've been living in my car. I've said it now. Oh my God, it's out there." Her journey to this point has been incredibly challenging. In 2020, she moved in with her parents in Las Vegas, a period that was wonderful until circumstances changed. At that point, she found herself without a place to stay and ultimately had to live in her car. A manager also offered her a place in Los Angeles, but upon arrival, she discovered there was no space for her. Instead, she moved into a hotel and stayed there for 8 months. During this time, she began researching life in her car and discovered a large community of people who choose to live this way. Chaka Khan is a renowned American singer known as the Queen of Funk. Her passion for music began at a young age. At 11 years old, she formed an all-female group called The Crystal with her sister. As she grew older, Chaka started performing in small bands around Chicago. In 1972, while performing with local bands, Chaka caught the attention of 2 members of an up-and-coming group called Rufus. The band's lead singer, Petty McWills, decided to leave the group and suggested that Chaka take her place. Good Sweet Thing, Do You Love What You Feel, and Ain't Nobody, all of which went platinum. In 1978, Chaka signed a solo contract with Warner Brothers Records. Her debut solo album featuring the track I'm Every Woman became a massive hit in the R&B genre and later gained even more popularity when Whitney Houston recorded her own version. Chaka continued to release hit songs, including What Cha Gonna Do For Me, before making a milestone in 1984 as the first R&B artist to have a crossover hit with a rapper. The song was I Feel For You, a cover of Prince's hit. Over the years, Chaka's appearance has changed significantly due to her efforts to adopt a healthier lifestyle. After being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, she followed a strict diet plan for several months, resulting in a loss of 60 pounds. Fans noticed her transformed look when she performed on American Idol and later at the Kennedy Center Spring Festival. Tevin Campbell was once one of the biggest names in R&B music. He began singing gospel in church at a young age. His big breakthrough came when he was just 12 years old, when a family friend introduced him to jazz singer Bobbi Humphrey. She was highly impressed and arranged for him to perform at a show in Manhattan. That performance changed everything. A videotape of Tevin's performance made its way to musician Benny Medina, who was immediately captivated. Medina flew to Texas and signed him right away. From there, Tevin's career took off rapidly. In 1991, at just 15 years old, Tevin released his debut album, Tevin. The album included hit songs like Tell Me What You Want Me to Do Alone With You and Goodbye, selling over 1 million copies and earning platinum certification. His second album, I'm Ready, released in 1993, was even more successful. The album featured the hit Can We Talk, which topped the R&B charts along with I'm Ready and Always in My Heart. Tevin had the voice talent and success to become an R&B legend. However, everything changed. In 1999, Tevin was arrested in a covert sting operation by undercover police in California and was found with a small amount of marijuana. This incident damaged his clean image and gradually led him to step away from the public eye. In the years that followed, Tevin remained out of the spotlight and did not release any new music. His last album was released in 1999, and although he made a surprise appearance on the TV show Queen Sugar in 2019, his shining days in the R&B music scene were long behind him. Erykah Badu is one of the artists who helped shape an entire era of R&B and neo-soul music. From a young age, she began performing at the Dallas Theater Center and the Black Academy of Arts and Letters. By the age of 14, Erykah had already made a name for herself, freestyling on local radio stations alongside musicians like Roy Harrow. Her big breakthrough came in 1994 when she opened for D'Angelo at a performance in Fort Worth. With just one show, she caught the attention of a record executive, Kedar Massenburg, who quickly signed her to a contract. A few years later, in 1997, her debut album, Baduizm, was released and became a legend with tracks like On and On, Apple Tree Next Lifetime, and Other Side of the Game. The album was certified triple platinum, propelling her to stardom. That same year, she released a live album titled Live, which featured the iconic track Tyrone. This album was also a massive success, selling over 2 million copies. In 2000, she released her second album, Mama's Gun, which included the song Bag Lady, her first top 10 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. Over the years, Erykah Badu didn't completely disappear, but her music became less mainstream and didn't chart as high on the traditional charts. She continued to collaborate with artists like D'Angelo, Teyana Taylor, and RM from BTS. Even during the COVID-19 pandemic, she helped create music remotely to support struggling musicians. D'Angelo was one of the biggest names in R&B during the 1990s and early 2000s. As a teenager, he formed the group Precise and began building his reputation. His breakthrough came in 1991 when he performed at the legendary Apollo Theater in New York and won on Amateur Night. At just 18 years old, he decided to drop out of school and move to New York to pursue his passion. In 1994, D'Angelo co-wrote and produced the song You Will Know for the R&B group Black Men United. The track featured stars like Usher, R. Kelly Boys, Set Men, and Raphael Saadiq, and became a hit, reaching the top 5 on the R&B charts. His debut album, Brown Sugar, released in 1995, became a classic. Songs like Lady and Cruisin' catapulted him to fame, establishing him as a prominent star. However, it was his second album, Voodoo, released in 2000, that solidified his place in R&B history. The album won a Grammy and featured the legendary track untitled How Does It Feel? After the Voodoo tour, D'Angelo gradually disappeared from the spotlight, struggling with personal issues including alcohol and drug addiction. After being out of the public eye for years and being arrested for drug possession in 2005, he shocked the world by releasing Black Messiah in 2014, his first album in 14 years. The album was a masterpiece, earning him another Grammy and proving that his musical magic was still very much alive. Since then, he has maintained a low profile but continues to collaborate with major artists like Jay-Z and Raphael Saadiq. In 2024, he appeared on the track I Want You Forever with Faith Evans. Faith Evans was once one of the biggest voices in R&B. Her passion for music started at a very young age. At just 2 years old, she began singing in church, and by the age of 4, she amazed the congregation at Emmanuel Baptist Church with her performance of Let the Sunshine In by The Fifth Dimension. In 1993, Faith decided to move to Los Angeles to pursue a music career. She started as a backup singer for Al B. Sure, and it wasn't long before her talent was noticed. The person who discovered her was Sean Puff Daddy Combs, who signed her to Bad Boy Entertainment, making her the label's first female artist in 1994. Faith Evans' career skyrocketed when she made an unofficial appearance on her then-husband, the Notorious B.I.G.'s song One More Chance in 1997. She later joined Puff Daddy and 112 on the track I'll Be Missing You, a tribute to Biggie following his tragic death. The song became a massive hit, topping the Billboard Hot 100 and winning a Grammy. In 2003, Faith Evans left Bad Boy Records and signed with Capitol Records, where she released The First Lady. The album was a success, peaking at number 2 on the Billboard 200. That same year, she also released a Christmas album, A Faithful Christmas, but it didn't receive the attention she had hoped for. After that, Faith took a break from mainstream music. She later returned with independent albums like Something About Faith and Incomparable, but none of them reached the same level of fame as her 90s and early 2000s hits. Do you enjoy listening to Faith Evans' music? If so, leave a comment with the number 2, if not, leave a 5. Maxwell is an American singer, songwriter, and music producer. He began his music career at the age of 17 when a friend gifted him a cheap Casio keyboard. This small gift changed his life. He quickly became obsessed with songwriting, teaching himself how to play instruments and studying the sounds of 1980s R&B artists like Patrice Rushen and SOS Band. By 1991, Maxwell was performing at clubs in New York, building his reputation. He worked tirelessly, writing and recording over 300 songs while performing at small venues. His hard work paid off in 1994 when Columbia Records signed him. He began working on his debut album. Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite introduced his unique sound. Initially, the album received limited attention, but it eventually became a classic with tracks like Ascension, Don't Ever Wonder, and Something Something. Along with artists like Lauryn Hill, D'Angelo, and Erykah Badu, Maxwell helped popularize the neo-soul genre. His next 2 albums, Embria and Now, both went platinum, proving that he was not just a fleeting phenomenon. In 1999, the song Fortunate from the soundtrack of the film Life became the biggest commercial success of his career, reaching number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. After long breaks between projects, Maxwell returned with the album Black Summer's Night in 2016. Since then, he has not released a new album. Although he no longer appears as frequently as before, Maxwell remains one of the most respected artists in the R&B music scene. Monica is one of the biggest names in R&B with a voice that can make you feel every emotion in her songs. She started singing as a child, performing in a traveling gospel choir at the age of 10. At just 12 years old, she caught the attention of legendary producer Dallas Austin, who signed her to Rowdy Records. In 1995, at just 14 years old, Monica released her debut album, Miss Thang. However, her biggest success came in 1998 with the song The Boy Is Mine. This track became a cultural phenomenon, topping the Billboard Hot 100 for several weeks. The album also featured other #1 hits like The First Night and Angel of Mine, making Monica one of the most successful artists of the late 90s. As musical trends shifted in the early 2000s, Monica faced both personal and career challenges. Her 2002 album All Eyes on Me was initially released only in Japan and did not achieve commercial success. She made a strong comeback in 2003 with After the Storm, which produced another hit with So Gone. However, her next album, The Makings of Me, struggled to find an audience. In 2010, Monica made a major return with Still Standing. With production by Neo Stargate and Polo Don, this album captured Monica's classic sound while still feeling fresh. It debuted at #2 on the Billboard 200. While she may not be as prominent as before, Monica continues to make music and perform. Usher has been a household name for decades, but if you see him today, you might not believe he's the same teenage heartthrob from the 90s who took the R&B world by storm. Usher began singing in church at the age of 9. His family quickly recognized his talent and moved to Atlanta to help him pursue a music career. By the time he was 13, he caught the attention of talent scouts and eventually appeared on Star Search, the biggest talent competition on TV at the time. That appearance helped him secure a record deal with LaFace Records, and by 15, Usher released his self-titled debut album. Usher's breakthrough came in 1997 with the album My Way. Songs like You Make Me Wanna and Nice and Slow topped the charts. His next album, 8701, continued the success with hits like You Remind Me and You Got It Bad. Then came Confessions in 2004, which solidified Usher as a legend. With over 20 million copies sold worldwide, it became one of the biggest albums of the decade. Tracks like Ye Burn and My Boo dominated the charts, and Usher became the biggest R&B star of his generation. He continued to experiment with new sounds in albums like Looking for Myself and Hard to Love. In 2024, Usher proved his enduring appeal during the Super Bowl halftime show, where his performance attracted over 123 million viewers, demonstrating that even after decades in the music industry, he still commands massive attention. Lauryn Hill is a legendary name in music. From her early days as an actress to her groundbreaking solo career, she has influenced countless generations of artists. Hill grew up in a musical family. Her mother played the piano and her father was a singer. Her music career took off as the lead member of the Fugees, alongside Wyclef Jean and Pras. The group's 1996 album, The Score, became a cultural phenomenon with songs like Killing Me Softly and Ready or Not dominating the radio. The album won a Grammy for Best Rap Album, making Hill the first woman to achieve this honor. During the same period, she also collaborated with Nas on the classic track If I Ruled the World, Imagine That. But it was her debut solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, that cemented her status as a legend. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, and the title track Do Wop That Thing made her the first artist to debut at #1 on both the Hot 100 and the album charts. It also became the first album by a female rapper to be certified diamond. In 2013, she was sentenced to 3 months in prison and 3 months of house arrest for tax evasion. After serving her sentence, Hill occasionally performed, and in 2024 she made a surprise appearance at Coachella during her son Y.G. Marley's performance, where she sang both her solo hits and songs from the Fugees alongside Wyclef Jean. Mary J. Blige reshaped R&B by blending it with hip-hop, earning the title of Queen of Hip-Hop Soul. Her journey began in 1988 when she recorded an impromptu cover of Anita Baker's Caught Up in the Rapture in a recording studio at a shopping mall. This recording made its way to Jeff Redd, an A&R director at Uptown Records, who passed it on to the head of the label, Andre Harrell. Impressed by her raw talent, Harrell signed Blige in 1989, making her the first and youngest female artist at Uptown. She started out as a backup singer for artists like Father MC before stepping into the spotlight. Her debut album, What's the 411, revolutionized R&B by incorporating hip-hop elements. Her 1993 remix album also made history as the first album by a singer to feature a rapper on every track. Her second album, My Life, became a defining work in contemporary R&B, and both of these albums were listed among Rolling Stone's 500 greatest albums of all time. Over the years, Blige continued to dominate the charts, releasing 15 studio albums, 4 of which reached #1 on the Billboard 200. Some of her iconic songs include Real Love, Not Gone, Cry No More, Drama, Be Without You, and Family Affair. In 2022, she performed at the Super Bowl LVI halftime show alongside Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, and Anderson .Paak. She released her 15th studio album, Gratitude, in 2024. Bobby Brown is a key figure in R&B and New Jack Swing music. His love for music was ignited at the age of 3 when he witnessed James Brown perform live. Encouraged by this experience, he honed his vocal skills in the church choir and quickly set his sights on a music career. In 1980, at just 12 years old, Brown co-founded the legendary group New Edition with childhood friends Michael Bivins and Ricky Bell. Ralph Tresvant later joined the group, creating a collective that would change the sound of 1980s R&B. Their debut album, Candy Girl, produced a hit with the title track where Brown shared lead vocals. However, conflicts within the group led to Brown's controversial departure. He quickly established himself as a solo artist. His debut album, King of Stage, featured the hit Girlfriend, which topped the R&B charts. But it was his second album, Don't Be Cruel, that propelled him to stardom with 5 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, including the #1 hit, My Prerogative, and Every Little Step, which won a Grammy. Brown became one of the defining artists of the late 80s and early 90s. His third album, Bobby, continued his success, earning triple platinum certification with hits like Humping Around, Getaway, and Good Enough. Despite facing personal challenges later on that overshadowed his career, Bobby Brown remains a key figure in R&B, pioneering the fusion of hip-hop style with smooth vocals and vibrant melodies. In 2008, Brown, Ralph Tresvant, and Johnny Gill formed a side group called Heads of State to compete with Belle Biv DeVoe. Brown and New Edition continued to perform together, including the Culture Tour, which began in early 2022. Ginuwine began his career as a member of Swing Mob, a record label led by Devontae Swing of Jodeci. At Swing Mob, he collaborated with future legends like Missy Elliott, Timbaland, Static Major, and Stevie J, laying the foundation for his groundbreaking sound. After Swing Mob disbanded, Ginuwine continued to work closely with Timbaland, leading to the release of his debut album in 1996, Ginuwine The Bachelor. The single Pony became an instant hit with its creative beat and sensual lyrics, reaching #6 on the Billboard Hot 100, solidifying Ginuwine as a major force in R&B. His second album, 100% Genuine, continued his success with hits like So Anxious and None of Your Friends' Business. However, after this album, his creative relationship with Timbaland began to fade, and Genuine collaborated with other producers such as R. Kelly and Troy Oliver. His 2001 album, The Life, produced his biggest hit on the Billboard Hot 100 Differences, which reached number 4 and topped the Hot R&B Hip-Hop Songs chart. His final album, A Genuine Christmas, was released in 2011. Since then, he has ventured into reality television, participating in Celebrity Big Brother 21 in the UK, and later appearing as Husky on The Masked Singer. Toni Braxton is an American singer, songwriter, actress, and television personality. She started her music career with her 4 sisters, Tracy, Tanda, Trina, and Tamar, in the group The Braxtons in the late 1980s. Although the group's 1990 single Good Life was not commercially successful, it caught the attention of Antonio Reid and Babyface, who helped launch her solo career. Her self-titled debut album, Toni Braxton, became a major success, topping the Billboard 200 and earning her 3 Grammy Awards, including Best New Artist and 2 consecutive Best Female R&B Vocal Performance Awards in 1994 and 1995. Her debut album sold over 10 million copies worldwide and earned 8 platinum certifications in the U.S. Braxton's success continued with the album Secrets, which featured chart-topping hits like You're Making Me High, Let It Flow, and the timeless ballad Unbreak My Heart, one of the best-selling singles of all time. Her third album, The Heat, debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and produced the hit He Wasn't Man Enough, which reached number 2 on the Hot 100. Although continuing her musical success, Braxton faced contract disputes and health issues that impacted her career. Her subsequent albums, such as Snowflakes, More Than a Woman, Libra, and Pulse, were released under changing collaborations with different record labels. She later reunited with Babyface to release the duet album Love, Marriage, and Divorce in 2014, which won the Grammy for Best R&B Album in 2015. In 2020, she signed with Island Records and released Spell My Name, featuring singles like Do It with Missy Elliott and Dance. However, she has not released new music since then. Chris Brown is an American singer, songwriter, dancer, and actor known for his versatility across pop, hip-hop, and R&B music. His career began as a teenager when he was discovered by Hit Mission Records at the age of 13. His passion for music was evident from a young age as he taught himself to sing and dance, drawing inspiration from Michael Jackson. In 2004, Brown signed with Jive Records, and the following year he released his self-titled debut album, which became a major success, earning triple platinum certification. His debut single run, it topped the Billboard Hot 100, making him the first male artist since 1995 to debut at number 1. Despite his third album, Graffiti, facing commercial struggles, Chris Brown made a strong comeback with FAME. This album became his first to reach number 1 on the Billboard 200, producing major hits like Yeah 3X, Look at Me Now, and Beautiful People, and winning the Grammy for Best R&B Album. His next album, Fortune, also topped the Billboard 200. Over the years, Brown continued to dominate the charts, breaking numerous records. He holds the record for the most top 40 hits by an R&B artist, the most gold-certified singles among male singers, and the most multi-platinum singles among male artists. In 2019, Billboard ranked Chris Brown as the third most successful R&B hip-hop artist of the decade, only behind Drake and Rihanna. On April 11, 2024, Brown released 1111 Deluxe, an expanded version of his 11th studio album. With over 200 awards and 533 nominations, Brown remains one of the most influential R&B artists of his generation, known for his impressive performances, extensive music catalog, and significant impact on contemporary music. JoJo rose to fame as a music prodigy in the early 2000s. She began participating in talent shows and singing competitions from a young age, eventually catching the attention of music producer Vincent Herbert after appearing on America's Most Talented Kids in 2003. This led to her signing with Blackground Records and releasing her debut album JoJo in 2004. The album reached number 4 on the Billboard 200 and was later certified platinum by the RIAA, selling over 4 million copies worldwide. Her debut single, Leave Get Out, made history by topping the Billboard Mainstream Top 40 chart, making her the youngest solo artist to achieve this feat at just 13 years old. The song also reached number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was certified gold by the RIAA alongside her next single, Baby It's You. Her second album, The High Road, solidified her success with the hit Too Little Too Late, which reached the top 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. This helped the album achieve gold certification and sell over 3 million copies worldwide. However, JoJo's rising career was abruptly halted due to a contract dispute with Blackground Records. She had signed with the label at the age of 12 and was unable to release new music for many years. The legal battle lasted for 7 years, during which her fans launched the Free JoJo campaign to support her fight for artistic freedom. After winning the legal battle in 2013, JoJo signed with Atlantic Records in January 2014, finally regaining her artistic freedom. In 2017, JoJo revealed on Twitter that her former record label had removed her early music from streaming platforms, leaving her unable to control the situation. She addressed these issues and went on to release 3 new albums, Good to Know, December Baby, and Trying Not to Think About It in 2021. Who's your favorite R&B star from these artists? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our latest content. Time may have overlooked these stars, but death hasn't claimed them yet. They were born long before television, in an era far removed from today's tech-driven world, yet they remain resilient, defying the passage of time. A legendary dancer, now 99, still moves with more grace than most in their 30s. A glamorous actress, celebrating her 100th birthday, recalls working alongside Marlon Brando as if it were just yesterday. Meanwhile, a cherished TV father, also 100, shocked fans by dancing on a desk live on TV just last year. From World War II to the rise of TikTok, they've witnessed the most significant shifts in the world. Unlike many of their famous peers who left too soon, they've lived long enough to share their remarkable stories. Their lasting presence and indomitable spirit have made them living legends, a testament to how talent, perseverance, and passion can defy the constraints of age and time. If you're intrigued by the story we're about to share, leave a comment with the number 1. If not, drop a 0 in the comments. Don't forget to like, share this video, and share your thoughts below. Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on any more exciting content. Let's dive into the story now. Jacqueline White was born in Beverly Hills in 1922. For a brief time during the 1940s, she captivated Hollywood with her quiet strength and graceful beauty. Now, over 100 years old, she remains one of the last surviving figures from Hollywood's golden age. Her time in the spotlight was brief, just about 10 years. But her performances continue to resonate with those who appreciate classic cinema, especially the dark, gritty world of film noir. Jacqueline White's path to acting was almost by chance. At 17, while performing in a UCLA theater class, she was discovered by a casting director. That moment changed everything. Soon after, she landed screen tests and signed a contract with MGM in 1942. Despite her talent and beauty, MGM didn't offer her many major roles, as was common for many young contract actresses at the time. She mainly took on supporting parts while the studio focused on their bigger stars. However, those early roles allowed her to hone her craft. She appeared in several studio films, including the comedy Air Raid Wardens with Laurel and Hardy, Song of Russia, and Three Hearts for Julia. In 1947, Jacqueline left MGM and signed with RKO Pictures, where she finally began receiving roles that truly showcased her talent. She was cast in significant supporting roles and even starred in smaller productions, marking her finest years in the industry. One of her standout performances came in Crossfire, a film that boldly addressed serious issues like anti-Semitism. That same year, she took on a lighter role in Banjo and later appeared in the action film Mystery in Mexico. In the Western Return of the Bad Men, she worked alongside Randolph Scott, whom she later recalled as a kind and respectful gentleman of the West. The film that cemented Jacqueline White's legacy was The Narrow Margin, released in 1952, a tense, low-budget black-and-white noir that became a masterpiece. Ironically, by the time she was offered the role, Jacqueline had already stepped away from Hollywood. She had married Bruce Anderson in 1948 and moved to Wyoming, believing her acting career was behind her. During a brief visit back to Los Angeles, she bumped into director Richard Fleischer and producer Stanley Rubin at a food stand on the RKO lot. That chance encounter brought her back for one final film. Even The Narrow Margin had its own drama. After it was completed, RKO's new owner, Howard Hughes, shelved it for 2 years, unsure whether to reshoot it with bigger stars. In the end, only a few scenes were reshot, and the final film was released almost entirely intact. The Narrow Margin proved worth the wait. Critics praised its tight story and suspenseful atmosphere, and to this day, the film holds a perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes. After that, Jacqueline White quietly left Hollywood at the age of 28, choosing family over fame. While others chased roles and the spotlight, she built a private life, raising 5 children in Wyoming and remaining married to her husband for over 50 years until his passing in 2000. But their long life together told its own story, one of quiet commitment and a deep sense of true priorities. In her later years, Jacqueline White rarely made public appearances. Occasionally, she attended film festivals, where younger audiences had the chance to discover her work for the first time. Seeing her in person reminded people that the golden age of Hollywood wasn't just something to read about. It was real, experienced by real people. And Jacqueline White was one of the few who could still tell those stories firsthand. At 102, she is not just a fading memory of the past. She remains a living link to Hollywood's most magical era. Her films, especially The Narrow Margin, continue to find new audiences across generations. Her performances continue to stand out for their quiet honesty. She didn't need long speeches or flashy scenes, just a glance, a simple line, and you believed every emotion she conveyed. In a world where careers are often measured by their length, Jacqueline White proved that sometimes a brief, brilliant moment can leave the deepest impression. The life of James Hong is a story you don't hear every day. Born in 1929 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, to a family of Chinese immigrants, he grew up surrounded by his father's herb shop. It was there that young James first encountered the world of performance, watching opera artists with wide-eyed wonder, sparking a lifelong fascination. James Hong was meant to become an engineer. He even earned a degree from USC, but his heart was never in it. In 1953, he took a leap of faith and moved to Hollywood. However, Hollywood at the time was not kind to people who looked like James. White actors often portrayed Asian characters in makeup, and real roles for Asian Americans were scarce, stereotypical, or outright offensive. James saw the harsh reality of Hollywood and decided not to wait for opportunities to come to him. Instead, he carved his own path, partnering with actor Mako Iwamatsu to found East West Players, a theater group dedicated exclusively to Asian American actors. It wasn't just about acting, it was about survival and creating space in an industry that refused to make room. At one point, 70% of Asian American actors in Hollywood had connections to East West Players, a testament to the depth of his impact. James Hong's acting career took off in the 1950s with a series of supporting roles alongside Hollywood legends like Clark Gable and John Wayne. While these weren't leading roles, they opened doors, and James kept walking through them. Year after year, show after show, movie after movie, he kept working. Some years, he appeared on television up to 10 times, each time portraying a completely different character. Then came the 1980s, and James's status began to shift. If you've seen Big Trouble in Little China, you'll remember Lo Pan, the ghostly villain with wild eyes and a dark sense of humor. That was James. A few years earlier, he appeared in Blade Runner as the man who created the replicant's eyes. It was a small role, but James made it unforgettable. From horror to sci-fi, comedy to drama, James left his mark. He appeared in Tales from the Dark Side and famously played the chaotic maitre d' in the Chinese restaurant episode of Seinfeld. While people didn't always know his name, they always remembered his face, and especially his voice. That voice became iconic. In Mulan, he voiced the rigid advisor Chi Fu, and in Kung Fu Panda, he brought Po's lovable noodle-making father to life. When Kung Fu Panda released a holiday special, his performance earned him an Annie Award. Even into his 90s, James continued lending his voice to major films like Turning Red and Wendell and Wild in 2022. That same year, something miraculous happened. At 93, James starred in Everything Everywhere All at Once, alongside an incredible cast. His performance was both fresh and timeless. The film swept awards season, and so did James. The Screen Actors Guild honored the entire cast, and James stood proudly on that stage, proving he was still at the peak of his career. Then, something long overdue finally happened. James Hong received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. At 93, he became the oldest person ever to receive the honor. The ceremony was filled with lion dancers, big speeches, and heartfelt moments. Jamie Lee Curtis gave a speech, and Daniel Day Kim, who led the campaign for James's star, proudly stood beside him. It wasn't just about James getting a star. It was about what he represented. Decades of persistence, resilience, and an unwavering refusal to be forgotten. James Hong has always been candid about his early years in Hollywood, where he took on countless stereotypical roles as Chinese characters. But he turned those small parts into stepping stones, never stopping in his forward march. And he didn't just open doors for himself, he opened them for others. As a member of the Academy, He continues to advocate for young Asian American and Pacific Islander talent, reminding the world that the work is far from done. Even in his 90s, James Hong hasn't slowed down. He's currently producing a new film called Patsy Lee and the Keepers of the Five Kingdoms. He's still working, still creating, still dreaming. As Jamie Lee Curtis said best during the ceremony, "It's about time." And she was right. James Hong gave everything to Hollywood. And finally, Hollywood gave back. If you find this story interesting and want to learn more, don't forget to hit like, share this video with your friends and those around you. Leave a comment below to let us know your thoughts. And make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any other exciting videos. Now, let's move on to the next character. Born in 1926, Mel Brooks is still making people laugh nearly a century later. At 98 years old, he's not just a legend. He's a living piece of comedy history. One of the rare few to have won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony, he continues to surprise. Just when it seemed like he had done it all, he received an honorary Oscar in 2024. Mel Brooks' career has been a non-stop highlight reel. It all started in the early days of television when he was a young comedy writer on Your Show of Shows, one of the most influential TV programs of its time. He wasn't alone in his success. He worked alongside future legends like Neil Simon and Woody Allen. The jokes came so quickly, even the cameras struggled to keep up. During that time, Mel Brooks also met Carl Reiner, and their friendship gave birth to one of the greatest comedic acts of all time, The 2,000-Year-Old Man. What began as a private joke between friends became a series of best-selling comedy albums, eventually earning Brooks a Grammy. At one point, those albums were the only thing keeping him financially afloat after facing bankruptcy. But his sharp wit and humor always found a way to pay the bills. Brooks didn't stop there. He took a wild idea, a musical comedy about Hitler, and turned it into The Producers. Somehow it worked. Not only did he win an Oscar for it, but he also turned it into a Broadway smash hit, breaking records. While most people create one version of a story and move on, Brooks managed to make the same story a success, both on film and on stage. The 1970s were Mel Brooks's golden decade. In 1974, he released Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein, two comedic classics in the same year. One took on racism in the Old West with a rapid-fire pace of jokes, while the other was a black-and-white tribute to classic monster films, with Gene Wilder delivering standout performances in both. Brooks wasn't just behind the camera. In Blazing Saddles, he played 5 different roles, some uncredited, showcasing the kind of wild energy he brought to everything he touched. But Brooks was about more than just comedy. He quietly founded Brooks Films, a production company that created serious, powerful films like The Elephant Man and The Fly. He intentionally kept his name off the credits, knowing that if audiences saw Mel Brooks, they would expect comedy, which could distract from the serious nature of the stories. This level of self-awareness is rare, especially in the entertainment business. His personal life was just as remarkable. Brooks was married to actress Anne Bancroft for 41 years, an impressive feat in Hollywood. Their home was always filled with laughter, even in awkward moments. Once, their son Max showed up at a dinner party dressed as an SS officer just to mess with Brooks. While Brooks was horrified, Bancroft calmly looked at Max and said, "Max, nice epaulets." That same sharp wit ran through the entire family. Max, by the way, became a successful writer, authoring World War Z. Even as he nears 100, Brooks keeps working. In 2021, he released his memoir, and in 2023, he returned with History of the World, Part 2 on Hulu, more than 40 years after the original film. He even voiced characters in major films like Toy Story 4 and continued making appearances on television. He remains vibrant, hilarious, and, most importantly, still unmistakably Mel Brooks. Eva Marie Saint didn't begin her career in the spotlight. Born on July 4, 1924, in Newark, New Jersey, far from the glamour of Hollywood, she wasn't immediately catapulted into fame after college. She started with small jobs, working as a messenger at NBC and hustling in New York. In the late 1940s, she seized every opportunity to act on radio and television. Long before her name was widely known, she was already being dubbed the Helen Hayes of television. Her talent was undeniable, and industry insiders recognized it early on. Eva Marie Saint's big break came in 1954 with her debut film role in On the Waterfront, a classic where she starred alongside Marlon Brando. While most actors would dream of such an opportunity, Eva not only delivered a memorable performance but also won an Academy Award for her first role. She was paid just $7,500 for the part, but the impact it had on her career was priceless. The film was powerful on screen, but behind the scenes, it was filled with tension. Director Elia Kazan used psychological techniques to elicit raw emotional performances, intentionally creating friction between her and Brando to capture the most authentic reactions. Eva Marie Saint never confined herself to one type of role. In 1959, she worked with Alfred Hitchcock on North by Northwest, where Hitchcock aimed to completely transform her image. He personally took her shopping, handpicking her wardrobe, and coached her to lower her voice, making her presence more mysterious and sophisticated. He even instructed her to maintain eye contact with Cary Grant in every scene to project elegance and authority. That performance became one of the most iconic moments of her career. Eva Marie Saint never chased fame. Instead, she chose her projects carefully, appearing in only around 20 films throughout her illustrious career. She starred in powerful dramas like Exodus and A Hatful of Rain, alongside lighter films like The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming. In 2006, she even appeared in Superman Returns as Ma Kent, while archival footage of Brando, her very first co-star, was used for Superman's father. It was a perfect full-circle moment, a reflection of a long and meaningful journey. Outside of the spotlight, Eva Marie Saint led a rich and fulfilling life with her husband, Jeffrey Hayden, whom she married in 1951. They shared 65 years together until his passing. In 2021, at the age of 97, she officially retired from acting. Now, at 100 years old, she is not only the oldest living Oscar winner, but also a living connection to the golden age of cinema. Elizabeth Waldo was born in 1918 in Yakima, Washington, near the Yakima Indian Reservation. By the age of 3, she was already singing, and by 5, she was playing the violin. Her talent was clear from a young age, and renowned violinist Jaska Heifetz took notice, helping her secure a scholarship to the Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia, where she received formal classical training. In 1940, Elizabeth's life took a dramatic turn when conductor Leopold Stokowski invited her to join the All-American Youth Orchestra. As she toured across North and South America, She was exposed to traditional music from cultures she had never encountered before, sparking a deep passion within her. Elizabeth began collecting ancient instruments and developed a strong commitment to preserving the music of long-forgotten civilizations. When the orchestra disbanded during World War II, Elizabeth briefly joined the Los Angeles Philharmonic, but soon set her sights on new horizons. She traveled to Mexico, where her music found a fresh rhythm. She performed on national radio, collaborated with the beloved singer Agustin Lara, and met muralist Diego Rivera, who inspired her to compose music for pre-Columbian instruments, music that had never been written down before. In 1945, Elizabeth entered the Hollywood scene, appearing as a violinist in Song of Mexico. Her sister, Janet Waldo, had been discovered by Bing Crosby, which opened doors for Elizabeth to perform in orchestras for Crosby's films. She later collaborated with renowned composers like Maurice Jarre and Lalo Schifrin, even contributing to the emotional depth of Dr. Zhivago. By the late 1950s, Elizabeth Waldo released groundbreaking albums like Maracatu, Rite of the Pagan and Realm of the Incas, using ancient instruments that had never before been recorded in a studio. These works didn't just recreate the past, they created something entirely new. Jazz producer Gene Norman called the experience unforgettable. Waldo continued to innovate in the decades that followed. In the 1970s, she composed for films like Chac Dios de Levia and Lost on Paradise Island. In the 1980s, her curiosity turned toward Chinese music, leading her to form a Pan-Asian band that performed across Los Angeles and even toured China. Her Concierto Indo-Americano was performed with the Xi'an Symphony Orchestra, once again bridging worlds through the power of music. Elizabeth Waldo also had a deep commitment to education. She founded Rancho Cordillera del Norte, a cultural center in Northridge, California, complete with a 150-seat theater where she hosted concerts and taught multicultural music. She also established the New Mission Theater to celebrate global arts. Even as she grew older, her passion never waned. In the 2000s, she released albums like Land of Golden Dreams and Heartstrings, Soul of the Americas. At 97, she was still composing a work about Chinese immigrants during the gold rush. Now, at 106 years old, Elizabeth Waldo remains one of the last living links to the golden age of Hollywood. But her legacy stretches far beyond that. She didn't just perform music. She preserved it, transformed it, and used it to bridge cultures across continents and centuries. Born in 1925, Dick Van Dyke is now 99 years old, and his strength has endured for more than 7 decades. He's brought laughter, music, and joy to countless people. His boundless energy, humor, and passion for performance have cemented his place as one of Hollywood's most cherished stars. Whether dancing on rooftops or cracking jokes on TV, audiences have always adored him. Dick Van Dyke's big break came on Broadway in the late 1950s. In 1960, he starred in Bye Bye Birdie, earning him a Tony Award. That moment marked a turning point in his career. Suddenly, everyone wanted more of Dick Van Dyke. With his playful, light-hearted style and sharp wit, he kept audiences on their toes. You never knew what he would do next, but you always knew it would be something extraordinary. Shortly after, he became a household name on television. From 1961 to 1966, he starred as Rob Petrie on The Dick Van Dyke Show, a massive hit. Working alongside Mary Tyler Moore, they became one of TV's most adored couples. Dick Van Dyke wasn't just funny, he was a master of physical comedy. A glance, a stumble, and he had the entire country laughing. He won 3 Emmy Awards for the show, and it wasn't just about the punchlines, it was about his movements, reactions, and the effortless charm he brought to every moment. Van Dyke didn't stop with television. In 1964, he took on the role of Bert in Mary Poppins, dazzling audiences with his dancing, singing, and irresistible charm. Even though his British accent drew some playful teasing, it didn't matter. He became unforgettable. Soon after, he was even offered the role of James Bond. Laughing, he replied, "Have you heard my British accent?" His honesty only made fans adore him more. In 1968, he starred as Caractacus Potts in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, a vibrant tale about a magical car. And with his touch, the story became even more enchanting. As the years went on, Van Dyke continued to work tirelessly. In the 1970s, he returned to TV with The New Dick Van Dyke Show. In the 1990s, he starred in Diagnosis, Murder, and appeared in films like Dick Tracy and Night at the Museum. At 93, he proved he still had that magic, dancing and singing once more in Mary Poppins Returns. Even as he nears 100, Van Dyke hardly shows signs of slowing down. His energy and passion for performing remain as strong as ever. In 2024, on his 99th birthday, Van Dyke revealed he was in talks with a studio about a new role, joking that he might play someone's grandfather just to stay busy. By April 2025, he had to cancel some events as traveling and meeting large crowds became more challenging. When asked about what he was up to, he simply smiled and said, "I feel old," yet still maintained the same trademark humor that has captured the hearts of generations. If you find this story fascinating and want to see more exciting videos, don't forget to hit like, share this video with your friends and everyone around you, and leave a comment below to let us know what you think. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any other amazing videos. Thank you for watching until the end, and we'll see you in the next